We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22sradio.com and 88.1 FM, KKJZ HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and now, a World Broadcasting Tag Team Champions of the World and a Cruiserweight Champion.
I'm Ethan.
I'm James.
I'm Rob.
And this is episode 201 of Beyond the Ropes. We are BTR Pro Wrestling Talk. Of course, you can follow us collectively on Twitter at RealBTR Radio. Go ahead and follow me individually at EthanNB95. Go ahead and follow the Analyst James Williams at
JHW Reporter.
And producer Rob Flores at
Rob Flores Media, and don't forget the R2 DMs for Ethan.
Well, I'm going to steal the thunder here for you. It's going to be a great show, boys. There's a lot to talk about. He mentioned R-Truth. Let's talk about R-Truth's best friend who is making his way. Oh, don't worry. We're going to do acknowledging now, Ethan. We're doing it right here, right now. It's time to acknowledge John Cena. 20 years in wrestling. Ethan, come back. Ethan, you come back here right now. Ethan is for those watching on YouTube, you see that Ethan has disappeared. He's disgusted. I'll talk about myself. I don't care. John Cena comes back. Obviously, anytime he comes back and makes an appearance, has to have a new T-shirt, new wristbands, new hat. Kind of reminds me of like the Oakland Raiders, well, now the Las Vegas Raiders. It's a nice little hat. I would actually pick it up myself because it's it's not too colorful. It's black and white. I dig it. The shirt looks really nice. It's good stuff. And so he's making his way out, or he's making his way into the arena at some point. Everyone's lined up. He was shaking everyone's hand. Pretty cool moment for a lot of the guys. He acknowledged and saw Rey Mysterio, a lot of guys from his journey.
Becky Lynch, disrespectful.
He what?
Walked past Becky Lynch.
He walked by MVP too. Well, he was kind of, kind of exchanging with some other people, and maybe he just missed MVP. But I think MVP would have definitely maybe have been someone he would have, went out of his way to go see. Maybe if he would have come, maybe he didn't catch his eye, but that was one that I noticed because I know they probably would have crossed paths several times, maybe even for that US title at some point. They were kind of around that same era when Cena was kind of coming in. So that was one that I noticed for sure.
Absolutely.
Wait, are you just gonna? Do you have any thoughts? Do you want to share your favorite Cena moment? I know you guys are big Cena fans.
Yeah.
You're in the podcast.
There was when he got squashed at WrestleMania to the Undertaker. That one. That was a good one.
That wasn't an official match.
No, it was. It was confirmed. It happened.
Was it? Okay, maybe
it was. It was a bell.
I mean, it was quick. It was kind of quick. So
AJ Styles versus John Cena when AJ beat him at SummerSlam. That was good. Good. The Shawn Michaels one in London, I believe, that took like 45 minutes on an episode of Monday Night Raw. Shawn Michaels beat him.
I kind of remember that. All right, that's enough from you, Ethan. You're not.
Wait, I have one more.
Okay, go ahead.
The ratings were down this Monday.
This
brought the ratings down.
You think so? Wait, let me think what was happening on Monday.
I don't think there was anything happening on Monday, was there?
I want to say maybe the Stanley Cup Finals were on Monday. Maybe. I don't know that for sure.
Watch hockey still?
It was the final game. It was for the championship. It wasn't game 7, but it was game 6. I don't think that alone could have maybe made a dip in the ratings, but we'll get into the number. We'll get into the number a little bit later, and if you want to blame Cena, then you can. But
you can't blame the tribal chief.
Go ahead.
Acknowledge the tribal chief. I want to personally acknowledge Roman Reigns before we move on any further. I know Rob wants to acknowledge him as well. James, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, Roman's cool. Anyways. Did you want something more than that?
Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, I mean that's more than what you normally get. So take that. No, so I just thought some things that stood out from the Cena kind of promo he cut in the middle of the ring. Obviously, he did a few little backstage segments I thought was kind of interesting. He did some stuff with the Street Profits, and there's maybe one or two other ones I'm forgetting. But again, a few things from Cena night that stood out was one when he was in the ring. Soaking up all the love, but made sure to mention, and it kind of reminded me of some of what Vince was saying. Like this was a we thing, and we're in this forever kind of deal. It reminded me a bit of when The Rock came back after a long period and said, more or less WWE will always be home. I don't know if he really said that, but that's kind of what he was saying. a very much a we, not me. And even when you guys are chanting Cena, it represents all of us. You know, they had a nice video package of him. I think there were some of the Make-A-Wish kids there. Obviously, Cena's well known, and if not, I think has the most wishes granted.
I believe 650 wishes and counting.
Yeah, and I think he knocked out like 3 or 4 more like that day or something along those lines, I think. But when he was talking too, he also mentioned that he wanted to make sure he thanked and showed appreciation towards the fans, but he also was making it clear that while he's doing that, he's just doing it because it was a good opportunity to do so, and because of the anniversary of when he kind of came onto the scene there and had that moment with Kurt Angle and whatnot, I believe. But he didn't rule out and made it very clear that he is going to have another match. I don't know if they were chanting one more match in order for him to do that, but he did say he was going to have. He was going to be back in the ring, and he made it also very clear that it wasn't just going to be one match. But he again made it very clear he doesn't know when. He doesn't have anything lined up, scheduled. Made it very clear like there's nothing in the works at the moment. But this is not the last of him. I think he even mentioned his age too. I think he mentioned he was 45. Mm-hmm. Which again, maybe doesn't sound that old. Like AJ's 40, right? Something like 41, maybe
41, 42, somewhere
42. So not that far off. And yeah, I thought too, good stuff on the guys that they had send in video tributes for Cena. AEW's Big Show, Bryan Danielson, Chris Jericho
Chris Jericho,
yeah, all of them were in there. Chris Jericho got a pretty big pop when he showed up on the screen. The fans were digging Chris Jericho. It's kind of it's weird. It's kind of an interesting relationship because he was on the Austin podcast and stuff. So the doors are still open for him. And then you know, Cody Rhodes was there with the video promo. Randy Orton was a part of it, obviously. For years, I felt like if Cena didn't have the title, it was Randy Orton. If it wasn't Randy Orton, it was Cena. And actually, that was kind of the case, considering they're both up there in who holds the most titles.
It's another one of my favorite moments. I was there live for SummerSlam. I believe it was 2010, either 2009 or 2010. I think it was 2009 actually. Randy Orton versus John Cena. Randy Orton won the WWE Championship, or retained it, I believe, after like 3 false finishes. I think one of them was a count out, one was a DQ, and then the third one, a fan got involved.
Like
that
a
was
shoot?
the one with a fan. I think it was. They said it was like Ted DiBiase's brother, because that's when Legacy was going on.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then Randy got the victory at the end.
So yeah, no, like I thought that was pretty good. Austin, Trish Stratus, all with video packages, and again, shows what kind of star power that Cena brings to the table and what he really means to that company. Again, part of me is like, is this just another way to kind of help Raw? I mean, you said the ratings were down, but you know, obviously there's all the Vince McMahon stuff that's been kind of going on and whatnot. So it's like, was this but I mean, it's a 20-year anniversary. Maybe it fell in their lap in a way, but I'm sure, you know, good on Cena, good on them to kind of get that going and make it an event. And you had all those kids out there with the new shirts. The parents were out there. It was very Cena friendly. And I think that's good. That's the way you kind of do it. You promote it, you get it out there a few weeks in advance. I'm sure that place was probably sold out. And yeah, good stuff to see Cena get the love. And after 20 years, it doesn't feel like it's been 20 years. Because I remember that promo when he came out against Angle. And I believe Rob said in the chat here, and I didn't watch it, but I saved it. I sent it to myself. I need to watch it. Kurt Angle, I guess, reenacted that promo or that scene there, that situation, more or less. So some good stuff.
Absolutely. Any other notes from? I guess we have some Money in the Bank we can talk about post Cena.
And wait, real quick, tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, I didn't get a chance to watch all of Raw in full in one sitting. Was there any Theory Cena interaction that I may have missed? There was. Okay, I figured there had to be, but I totally forgot about it until right now.
A backstage interaction. I don't know the details, unfortunately.
Okay. We'll watch it. We'll watch it during the break, and we'll circle back to it.
Yeah. So there was some interaction backstage, I believe. Yeah, obviously, Theory, I think, kind of insulted Cena a bit. So I don't know how exactly that played out. But yeah, I'm something's got to happen.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I came to mind. I'm like, somebody has, if not at Money in the Bank, I don't think he's going to Money in the Bank with a match. Cena is, but SummerSlam, yeah.
It's a stadium show, so that's where you're going to have it.
We'll see.
I'm telling you, Theory is probably going to lose that title on Money in the Bank against Lashley. That match has been confirmed. I think it's going to happen if they're going to do Cena Theory. So.
Yeah, but how are you going to do this? How are you going to get? I mean, you're probably not going to get Cena back for another week, right? Like, you're not going to get him. Maybe you get him back closer to SummerSlam, maybe a week out. I mean, like a month out, a couple weeks out.
Maybe.
So how do you go about making this story, though? Like, I mean, the seeds have been planted, and they had their interaction.
Yeah, they've had their interaction. Theory mentioned Cena every chance he's got in every, the last couple of weeks. So, I don't know, maybe he just keeps mentioning his name until Cena comes back. So,
yeah,
something as simple as that. They don't have to do anything too crazy.
But does Austin Theory get? We're looking at a little far ahead, but would you have Theory going over on Cena?
If they're serious about pushing Theory, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think why else would you have the match if you're not going to do that?
It could be a test. They could see how Theory works. I mean, he's a good worker. We've seen him have some good matches, but you put him against Cena, someone who obviously is considered one of the best to ever.
I mean, but you could work him with anybody, right?
Sure.
But again, I think that big match feel. Yeah, you kind of get that. You get a Cena stamp of approval, right?
Right. It's like the rite of passage. Like you go over Cena or something, or at least have a match with them, even if you come up short. Maybe there's some good stuff that comes out of it,
right?
In theory.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think if anything, he'll definitely give him the rub. I think even if he doesn't win the match, if he comes out looking good just as a result, then I think it'll mean good things. But we'll see. Did you want to get into Money in the Bank? I think you said.
Let's talk about Money in the Bank a bit. Riddle qualified after a 20-man battle royal, which featured the names of The Miz, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Dolph Ziggler, and many others. The Mysterios. By the way, Rob, your favorite Dominic Mysterio wearing an LWO shirt. So there you go. So we got everyone, or almost everyone, on the list. We do have to give predictions because the pay-per-view is this Saturday, July 2nd. So
what do we just
say it with me, James? Premium live event. And
it was interesting when they were actually promoting the show, and I mean, they've probably been doing this for weeks, but I just caught it, was they're saying, in Vegas, but they don't really say where.
They don't say where anymore. So there is actually one spot open. So the names currently announced are Seth freaking Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Omos, Sheamus, Sami Zayn, and Riddle, which are 6 names. There is one open spot that is available.
I mean, I thought about this kind of while I was watching Raw. I didn't hear about it or anything, but I'm assuming they're going to have a SmackDown Battle Royal too. Probably, I would imagine.
They could. They featured names from SmackDown in this Battle Royal, which was
okay.
I don't know what the plan is.
Well, I mean, Ethan, when you let go of so many people, you can't have a Battle Royal unless you call guys from the other side. So, I mean, they were lucky to get 20 in the ring.
Right. I don't know why we can't. There we go. Or I don't know. Put in one of the NXT guys in there.
Do you want to read off the guys again who were in that match? Because I remember there were no high flyers.
Rollins, Riddle, McIntyre, Omos, Sheamus, and Sami Zayn. Okay. No high flyers in there. For Ricochet in there.
No high flyers, but I can see Sami Zayn bouncing around. I can see
Ricochet in there.
Riddle. I mean, yeah, you got Riddle, Ricochet.
He was in the Battle Royal too, but
okay. Well, because I was gonna say, is Ricochet not?
He lost his IC title match. The rematch.
Okay, they had it. They had it.
Yeah, they had it on SmackDown.
With Gunther
demolished him. So again, I think he's done with that. Put him in the.
I mean, he's a little too big right now. Like, just who you're talking about, Ricochet?
Yeah, Ricochet or.
But at this point, what are you doing with Gunther going in? What do you put Matt Guy? I would be okay with Matt Guy.
He wasn't in the Battle Royal.
If you're gonna do something with him, I mean, hey, he's an Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner. He knows his way around the ring and can win a Battle Royal. So why not?
Put Put them in there. I don't know. Who do we got? Our early predictions. We'll give our final predictions over on Twitter at RealBTR Radio is where you can follow us. I did put a poll on. We'll get to in the next segment over there, the other side. But go ahead and follow us there for final predictions. But an early prediction, who do you see? Someone new here, but we have two previous Money in the Bank winners, Seth Rollins and Sheamus already. I don't think they're going to give it to Omos.
I hope not.
Riddle and Zayn are interesting, and McIntyre. Honestly, I could see any of them winning that.
I think they can maybe do something with Riddle. Again, we were talking about it as the winner of this may cash in at SummerSlam or something, right? Like, I'm thinking the winner of this match is going to be your next champion.
I think it's a definite possibility. You had an interesting promo with Sami Zayn after he qualified with Paul Heyman. Sami Zayn didn't really want to say he was going to cash in on Roman Reigns because he's obviously associated with the bloodline. That's why I think his story would be interesting.
I wonder where they would win.
Yeah. And then you got McIntyre, who's obviously gunning for that Universal Championship. Does he need the Money in the Bank briefcase? No.
I mean, no.
He might already have a match guaranteed at Clash at the Castle. But they could do it as a way to get, move that away from Roman, the titles. I don't know. It's interesting to say the least. You got Seth Rollins.
Seth, yeah, that seems like the easy answer in a way, but at the same time, it's like, are they really going to go to that? I mean, they might.
It's possible. He's technically the only one, I think, that's actually technically beaten Roman by disqualification. It's DQ.
I mean, I just feel like they can't go back to the same scenario we talked about already with him winning at WrestleMania before. I don't know. Maybe we'll see who this last guy in is, but I don't know.
Who do you think it's gonna be?
Madcap, Ricochet. It has to be a high flyer. It needs to be somebody who can move around, bounce around, do bumps and stuff.
Anyways, when we return, we're going to talk more Money in the Bank. We'll talk about the women's match. We'll talk about all things happening in the upcoming, say it with me, James, Premium
Live
events. We'll be back. We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM KKJZ HD3 Long Beach, Los Angeles. Welcome back to episode 201 of Beyond the Ropes. We are BTR Pro Wrestling Talk. Of course, I am your host, Ethan, joined alongside the analyst, James Williams, and producer, Rob Flores. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter at EthanNB95. Go ahead and follow James at
JHW Reporter.
And go ahead and follow producer, Rob Flores at
Rob Flores Media. And don't forget our 2 DMs for Ethan.
No DMs. You're probably 100th week saying that, and still no DMs. No one slid into those DMs. So, we were talking about Money in the Bank, the card that is happening. We talked a bit about the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Let's talk about the women's, which is fully decided. The 7 women that are competing this Saturday, as we are recording this, Saturday, July 2nd, of course, for the Money in the Bank, say it with me, James, Premium Live event. We have Shotzi, Asuka, Lacey Evans, Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss, and Becky Lynch.
See, I can get behind this. Like it's exciting. We kind of talked about it last week a little bit. It's like you just
the
don't
Money in the
know.
Bank contract, Rock. Come on now.
You just don't know who's gonna win it, right? Like it could. I mean, the easy answer or the favorite is Becky, Asuka, right? But
that's the easy answer. But
they're building Liv, Alexa,
building Raquel, They're building Lacey, who just came back.
I think Shotzi had a little bit of an edge on her. I think maybe when she went up against Becky against Ronda, I think recently. So,
it could go anyone's way. Depends where they want to go with it.
I would say Shotzi's maybe less likely to win it, but I think again that makes it all the more reason why she would win it, because I think they've done that in the Money in the Bank several times.
She's at the bottom right now.
Yeah,
the bottom rung right here. I don't know. It might be too early for Raquel. A little bit.
It could be, but if you want to push someone to the moon or whatever, you have SummerSlam coming up. I don't know how long Rhea's out. Maybe you get a Raquel in there.
Maybe.
For Belair, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Could be anybody. And even with the Becky Lynch and all them in there, I think it makes it interesting. And maybe it's for the better that Carmella's not in it.
She's not in it because she will be competing for the Raw Women's Championship against Bianca Belair.
Easy win.
For Carmella?
No.
Oh.
No. Not even a little bit.
You don't think she has like a 1% chance of winning?
It's like a 1% chance, but
just one? What about 2?
It's pushing it.
3?
No, that's pushing it.
Oh.
Belair should win. I mean, she was gonna win against Rhea anyway, so it don't matter.
You sure about that?
I'm pretty sure about it, yeah.
No. Carmella versus Belair Raw.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah, I think Carmella's just in there to get squashed, but we'll see.
I think so. When's this match supposed to happen at SummerSlam? It was.
What?
When Sasha backed out.
Yeah.
And then Becky Lynch returned.
Yeah. That was one of the ones. Now this is like the third injury.
Mm-hmm. It's not okay. Let's see who else.
And we don't have an official update on Sasha. Supposedly she has still been released, but nothing official.
Nothing has been official, so don't want to confirm anything. Yeah, she's still using the mask, still protecting that face. You should try that, James.
Who are you talking about? Oh, she's you seen there's a bit photos of Sasha with the mask and stuff?
No, Carmella, sorry.
Oh,
using the diamond mask, wrestling.
Yeah, I guess.
Let's talk about what else do we have for Money in the Bank?
We can talk about the Raw women's match. I don't know if there's one. Does Ronda have a match?
That was the Raw one.
Yeah. No.
SmackDown.
We've
got.
Yeah, go ahead.
The baddest woman on the planet. The SmackDown Women's Champion.
Natalya.
Ronda Rousey. Versus.
The baddest woman on the planet. Natalya.
Natalya.
You don't agree?
Is in this match? I don't. Well, but Ronda had a good comeback for her, saying, I forgot what it was, but it was a good one.
I heard what.
Oh, she had to she had to dress up as Ronda in order to be considered for like the main event or something. Because Natalya dressed up as Ronda this past Friday on SmackDown. Came out with a stroller, which is funny. Natalya's something else.
I thought it was interesting. I stumbled upon a backstage segment, or it was like a before show segment of Baszler and Ronda that I thought was like pretty neat, pretty interesting. You get something to film, especially for a Ronda. You know, you have her there, get some extra time, get some social media content. They showed them, they're hanging out ringside or like by the entrance ramp. And obviously Baszler has been partners with Natalya the last couple months, maybe weeks, right?
Last couple of months.
And
it could be for those titles,
and so Belair's Baszler's in this pickle now of where she's been friends for a long time with MMA buddy Ronda Rousey, but recently formed this tag team with Natalya, so it's kind of like Ronda kind of laid it out there like, hey, you have my back or not? Baszler said yeah, but she also has to do this tag team thing. So I don't know how much they're playing that up on the show at all. I mean, because Baszler's making it very clear, like, hey, she's just trying to hang back, not be in the middle of it. That's between you two. But I wonder if she's going to have to pick a side, and maybe that's going to matter. Or where do we go from here? Does Baszler cost Natalya the title? Or cost yeah, I mean, does Baszler cost Natalya the title and she forms or has a better, stronger alliance? Maybe we see something with Ronda and Baszler. So there's some options there. I think Baszler would be involved. Maybe I would be surprised if she doesn't get involved in any of this, but I don't know. If anything, it gets you talking, get you thinking. I think that the promo was worthwhile. That segment was worthwhile for that alone.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they showed it on SmackDown. I think it was exclusively to social media. I did see that. I didn't actually watch the video.
It's pretty decent. It's pretty decent.
We'll see what happens. I would love to get Shayna involved in something because she's not in the Money in the Bank ladder match. So should be interesting. Speaking of MMA, there was a signee that broke exclusively on that was an MMA, the MMA Hour, I want to say. I'm not mistaken. Let me pull it up here. Rob did remind us here, but see if I could pull up the news.
He said Triple H announced it too. Do you want me to just say it? WWE signed Bellator's very own Valerie Lareda. I guess that's how you say last name. I don't have it. I'm just reading what Rob said here, but
right.
Obviously being Bellator, that's for those who aren't familiar with the MMA world, Bellator is very much like UFC, and it's kind of one of those things where two different leagues, same sport, they can kind of bounce onto the different brands based on contracts or whatever. But so Bellator is no joke, and I think that would be interesting that they got another MMA female in the mix there.
Absolutely. Let me see. Pulling it up here. This was as first announced on Ariel Helwani's MMA Hour. MMA star Valerie Lareda, as you mentioned, has officially signed with NXT. So that's interesting. She commented here. She tweeted, "I'm honored to become the first Cuban American woman in history to sign with WWE. I come from a family of immigrants. Now it's my time to represent our Latin culture. I was destined for this. Thank you for this opportunity, WWE NXT. I will make you proud." And she is seen walking around, I want to say this might be New York City. Don't know if that's correct or not, but she is holding a Money in the Bank briefcase, which is interesting. Triple H also tweeted 6 hours ago from this recording, an incredibly driven young woman working hard in sport and business to make a name for herself and her family. Cannot wait to have Valerie start training at the WWE PC and make her impact in NXT. Welcome to WWE. So some more MMA names are coming over to the WWE field, pro wrestling field. So that's interesting.
Yeah, just another one making the jump from MMA to WWE. We'll see what happens with her and how she kind of fits into the mix with things going forward. They're gonna get her training. Obviously, there'll probably be some natural talent there just from being in the MMA, but we'll see.
Hold on a second. Okay, so we have this little chat here, and Rob will just sometimes tweet random things. And there's truth behind many of those things. Bodyslam.net reported that Joey Ryan had been working at Disneyland on the Jungle Cruise attraction.
So Disneyland, that means Anaheim, California.
Anaheim, yeah. I had no idea because I guess it's been a few years for me. But Ryan has a litany of allegations against him from the Speaking Out movement a few short years ago. Ryan has attempted to sue his accusers to no avail. The LA Times broke the news Wednesday that Ryan had been fired by Disneyland following the discovery of his allegations. Ryan worked for the company for 3 months before being let go. Disney stated that they do background checks on all employees, but missed Ryan's allegations due to them being made against his stage name. This was a spokesperson, Mr. Mihan, which I believe is his real name, is no longer employed by us. The LA Times did try to contact Ryan and his lawyer to no avail. Several attempts to reach Mahan through his attorney and through email were unsuccessful. So, he was working in Disneyland for 2 years. I mean, you got to make money, but it's weird.
Yeah, kind of interesting that they said that they do background checks and all that, but Because it was under his stage name. Like,
well, it's Joey Ryan is his, wrestling name, obviously.
yeah, but it's like, I don't know, when you show your ID or whatever.
You would think something would have come up sooner, probably.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe.
someone probably brought it to their attention. Is probably how they found out.
Jungle Cruise. Oh, I gotta see if there's video of this. They like to
I mean, he probably changed his look up a little bit. People probably don't even realize. Didn't even realize.
But people like to film on the attractions. Maybe he's one of the skippers driving around the boats, doing the jokes. The other side of water, if you've ever been on it. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Yeah. Let's get back to Money in the Bank. Do we have our main event? Is there a main event on this card? We got the US title match between.
Roman don't want to do nothing.
You know what? He worked hard a few weeks ago. He's now thrown into a last man standing match against Brock Lesnar. It's too much. Okay, he's got to prepare at the Island of Relevance.
I guess.
We've got Theory versus Bobby Lashley for the US title.
Is it? And you think Bobby Lashley's gonna win?
I think so.
Just so he can have a match with Cena. I mean, I don't think you do. Cena, you don't have a Cena match for the US title. I don't think so.
Right.
I mean, you got to have the match, or what's the point of the build up? So, I guess I just feel like, what do you do with the title then? Like, it's not gonna be what it was with.
You don't have the WWE title. Bobby Lashley can now. I mean,
you cut now, sir. What did you say?
Lashley could bring the title up more. He's a former WWE champion.
I mean, yes, no. I think I said it last week. It's just Austin Theory can say he's the youngest United States champion. He can throw Vince McMahon's name out there, and that's like, it makes it important, right? Because even when you have Austin Theory's name attached to it and you're using Vince McMahon's name, like, if Vince McMahon's the one running the show and his guys associated with the belt, that alone means the belt means some significance, because it's in the mix, it's being talked about. The belt means something, right? But the minute it's taken off, then it just becomes a fact, like a fun fact. Who was the youngest United States champion? Austin Theory. But I don't know. I just think it'll become less about the belt. Like, I think Austin Theory can still move forward, and the belt won't really go anywhere after the fact. So we'll see.
Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. We got a few minutes here to go.
I could read the numbers real quick.
Go ahead and share the numbers.
We mentioned the numbers earlier, and Ethan said the numbers went down for Raw, so we'll find out. But as always, we'll start with AEW. We'll start with the Rampage show for June 24th, 422,000. For AEW Dynamite, you had 878,000 for that June 22nd show. For June 21st of NXT, the NXT episode had 637,000. Miz and Mrs., which is on the USA Network before and airs after Monday Night Raw. That June 27th episode of Miz and Mrs. was 669,000. Raw was 1.9 million for June 27th, again the same day as Miz and Mrs. And so, I think they were maybe they ran the 2 million mark last time. Not entirely sure, but maybe the numbers went down a little bit. But I feel like it's kind of on par. But then SmackDown, of course, leading the way, and you can thank Roman Reigns or whoever you want. But SmackDown leading the way, and the Usos for their June 24th episode with 2.2 million for SmackDown.
There you go. Quickly, before we run out of time here, we got to acknowledge Elmo.
We did. Elmo, yes, our guy. Elmo.
Elmo got the COVID vaccine.
He's vaxxed.
Vaxxed.
A nice little.
Well, which one did he? I wonder which one he got.
I don't know which one
Maybe he only got one shot. He still needs the second one. We don't know.
Well, as long as if you say that you're vaxxed, that means as of now, like, you have the booster, right? So if you say you're vaxxed, that means you're up to date But again, the video that we saw and that we're referring to is shared by Elmo on the Twitter account. Yes, Elmo from Sesame Street. And he was saying that he was vaxxed, but they made it out like he was getting his first shot. But regardless, Elmo is vaxxed, and we're very proud of him here on this show. He's still feuding with The Rock, not Dwayne The Rock, but Rocco. Yeah, the feud is still going, and still a possibility for WrestleMania.
I paid money to see that.
I would too.
When we return, we're going to talk a little bit of AEW. They had a little event with New Japan. Talk about that. We'll talk about whatever else we want to talk about. I know who we want to talk about. Say it with me, James. Max. Do.
And Cameron Grimes. All
that and more right here on Beyond the Ropes. We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM KKJZ HG3 Long Beach, Los Angeles. Welcome back to episode 201 of Beyond the Ropes. We are BTR Pro Wrestling Talk. I'm your host, Ethan, joined alongside the analyst James Williams and producer Rob Flores. Make sure you find us over on Facebook, facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes, as well as YouTube. Just search up Beyond the Ropes, and you'll see these beautiful faces on your screen. Of course, go ahead and download Spotify. Go ahead and download our podcast. Like, subscribe, leave a comment.
Download, tell your friends.
Apple Podcasts.
Yep.
Wherever podcasts are found.
Leave a 5-star rating. Do all that. Leave a nice comment. Things like that.
Those are the only star ratings that count, right, James?
Yep. You don't have to be in Tokyo Dome for those either.
Be right at your home, or like I am right now in a WWE rating in front of 20,000 people.
20,000 people.
Speaking of a crowded room, there was a special event that occurred this past weekend between AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling called Forbidden Door, and we got to see the debut of one. I'm gonna butcher the name, but it's Claudio Castagnoli, I believe it's
Castagnoli, something like that.
Yeah. Formerly known in WWE as Cesaro. He's there. He's officially made his debut. He's picked his poison, and there we go. So let me see him.
Yeah.
I had a poll over. I had a poll over on at Real BTR Radio on Twitter. How will Claudio be treated in AEW? 50% voted main eventer. 29% said mid-carder. 14% said upper mid-carder. And 7% said he will be on Dark in just a matter of weeks. So
yeah, well, I mean, all those are obviously possibilities.
Sure.
I don't know. Could he be a main eventer? Sure. I think especially if AEW wants to show, hey, here's a guy that should have been a main eventer for WWE, and for whatever reason he wasn't. I think what Vince McMahon once said, that he more or less doesn't talk, or he doesn't have that it kind of deal. So we'll see. We'll see how they handle if they can do something with him at AEW. I mean, he's a talented dude. He's had some time off. We'll see.
He debuted as the newest member of the Blackpool Combat Club as well, which is Regal's group of Moxley, Bryan Danielson, I believe Wheeler Yuta, someone they're trying to build up there. So we got another guy there. And I was going to talk about the SPs. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, we got Claudio there as well. And he was involved in their Blood and Guts showdown. I believe that was tonight as well. So, which is their version of War Games. So interesting stuff for Claudio. We'll see where he goes from there. If he'll be getting that main event picture. Speaking of main event picture, Moxley of the Combat Club ended up winning the interim AEW World Champion.
And who is that against? Okada. Tanahashi, but Moxley was put it in there, and then who did he have to beat from the Battle Royal?
Tanahashi. No, he beat. Who won the Battle Royal? I don't remember who it was.
I forgot who it was. It was like, it wasn't Adam Cole. Oh, Adam Cole's buddy. Your other guy, Riley.
O'Reilly.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right. And then he beat
kinda
O'Reilly,
random.
and then showed up against an New Japan representative, of course, Tanahashi, a big name over there. The New Japan Pro Wrestling title was also defended, the IWGP title, which was Switchblade Jay White, the current champion, against Okada, against Adam Cole, and against Hangman Page in a four-way match for that title. Jay White ended up retaining that title there. So those were a couple of the big events there that occurred over at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. Yeah, I heard some good things about it. If it wasn't,
did it air at a decent time, or was it one of those like 2 o'clock in the morning things?
It was an AEW, I guess, promoted event. It was here in the States, so I think it was normal hours. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. We'll probably see more of this in the future if they liked the results. We'll see. Let's talk about the ESPY Awards.
Yeah, first of all, the ESPYs were announced. They announced the host today, Steph Curry, coming off of a Golden State Warriors championship win for the NBA season. They won the NBA title. The Golden State Warriors did. They're back on top. So Steph Curry is going to be your host. And I know you have the finalists here for ESPY's best WWE moment, but me personally, I'm going to be trying to get my way onto the red carpet again this year, and we'll see.
I'll be there. I'll be there acknowledging the tribal chief.
I'm sure you would. You'll probably get chased down by security, but
well, when I acknowledge the tribal chief, when they know that I'm with the tribal chief, they're gonna back off.
Okay, we'll see. I wish y'all the best.
if you see the screaming individual getting carried out,
that's you.
Feel free to keep your cell phone on in the middle of the night. I might be calling you from
from downtown LA jail.
Downtown LA. Well, I'm trying to put it out there, but so we'll
it
see.
May happen that way.
Just be available, James.
All right.
Just in case you need to pick me up.
I'll stick around in the area a couple hours if I'm out there.
All right. Let's talk about best moment in WWE. Brock Lesnar wins the Royal Rumble. Of course, Bianca Belair wins the Raw Women's Championship. Stone Cold Steve Austin stuns Vince McMahon, Theory, and Pat McAfee. Roman Reigns beats Brock for both titles. Cody Rhodes returns. Big E cashes in. The Miz turns on Logan Paul. Becky returns. Taker Hall of Fame induction. Edge beats Seth in Hell in a Cell. And Wee Man body slams Zayn at Mania are some of the nominees there.
Yeah, there's a lot of good moments there when you think about it. The Wee Man one was a good one.
Of course, there's only one true victor. It's Roman Reigns beating Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, they've seen that already. I mean, Austin and Vince maybe have a chance, but I think it's gonna go to Undertaker, right?
Cody returns, that's a big deal.
Huh?
Cody returning, that's a big deal.
Cody returning was a big deal, but I just think it's the ESPYs. You're talking about the sports industry as a whole. You're gonna want a popular name or someone that you're gonna want
the tribal chief.
He may be there. I would imagine he's going to be there. I think he's been there he was there the last time. I know that they had it in LA. But he could be. I believe it was that Sasha and Belair who won for their WrestleMania match last year. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Wouldn't be surprised if it's Roman again or whatever. But I think it's gonna be the Undertaker. Speaking of the Undertaker, though. He's gonna be doing a one-man show. I think sometime before
One Dead Man show
before summer. Is that before SummerSlam or around SummerSlam? I think. So they advertised that, and obviously that was part of the deal, right? Like with the Undertaker and how he almost signed this, or he almost did this autograph signing that wasn't part of WWE. They kind of put a stop to that put him back under a Legends contract or whatever they needed to do to kind of keep him under their control more or less, for whatever that's worth. But yeah, so now you're gonna get a one dead man show, and then you're gonna have WWE sponsoring that. So I think that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. We'll see how that goes. Maybe they'll stream it on the network. Let's talk about say it with me, James. Max
Dupree.
You know,
did he sign somebody yet?
The dressing rooms weren't at the right temperature for his big debut. So
okay,
we're gonna try again this week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're gonna see if that happens.
They don't have anybody yet, do they?
I don't know, but I'm glad Max Dupree's getting TV too. Maybe he's impressing someone in the back. Maybe they say, you know what, let's just put Max Dupree in the ring. Maybe
do something. I don't know who it's supposed to be, but it better be good. It can't be Veer or something. I mean, Veer's kind of doing his own thing, but
I don't know. What's MJF's status? Do we know? I don't
even know. I forgot all about him. I thought he was kind of back, and he wasn't at Forbidden Door. There was nothing like that, right?
His merchandise was taken down. You would think they would try and capitalize on it if he were signed with AEW or something.
Yeah, I thought there was supposed to be a quick turnaround on it, but I mean, well, I was gonna say if he's done, I mean, he wouldn't have been back on TV. He wouldn't have done the promo and all that stuff. But like, because if he's done, you know, maybe we haven't seen him because he's doing a 90-day no compete or something, right? But I don't know if that's the case, because why would you even bring him back the next day on TV after losing to Wardlow? I mean, maybe if there's one more date on the contract, I guess, but
you don't know. Maybe they worked something out and they thought they did. Maybe not anymore. I don't know.
Rob's asking who has the diamond now for what?
That diamond ring, I think it's thrown away in the trash or something. That diamond MJF was wearing.
Speaking of, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Speaking of diamonds, let's hear a diamond that's no more.
Yeah, speaking of the diamond mine, things aren't looking very good for old boy. What was that other guy who was in the Undisputed Era?
Please don't mention that name ever again.
Roddy.
Ravishing Roderick Strong.
Roddy Strong. That's right. The most forgettable member of the group. I'm kidding. Yeah, things aren't looking too good for Roddy. He's fighting with the guys. I mean, this kind of been a thing for the last couple of weeks now, right? So I don't.
Bivens, and now it's all falling apart.
They're losing to Gacy and some dudes in robes. Cloaks. Yeah, I forgot what they're called, but it's kind of a weird dynamic.
It's the grizzled young veterans.
Oh, you think so?
I think so.
You read that somewhere, or you're just guessing?
They went away around the same time that they started doing this thing. So it's not looking good for Roddy. He, requested his release apparently a few months back. So
yeah, because he wants to go with his guys.
I think it's just about time they're probably gonna send him off. His wife is over there as well, Marina Shafir. So she has been wrestling over there. So it'd be time for him to go.
I guess.
Hate to see it. I thought they were going to do something with the diamond mine, but it looks like they just want to push the Creed brothers and maybe Ivy. Yeah. So, and they got a fourth member. I don't know if he's still in there. Thought there was another member.
I think wasn't he part of the first NXT releases or something?
No, there was another guy that Roddy had added a couple of weeks back. I don't know who it was, but I don't know if he wasn't there or if they.
Oh, well, weren't they trying to add him, but maybe I think the other guys didn't want
maybe him. Maybe that was the thing. I don't know. Like that. So, yeah, Diamond Mine's no more. What else do we got for NXT? We know Triple H is reportedly back, whatever that means, but we don't know if he's actually in control of creative or anything. I don't think he probably is, but we'll see in the coming weeks if any changes happen. Go ahead.
Yeah, just for NXT, some things I just kind of watched some of the highlights and stuff and just kind of was catching up on what's going up with the Black and Yellow brand. So, of course, talk about Roddy Strong and what his issues are going on. It looks like they're trying to continue to do something with Gacy, obviously after Harlan was released. They're continuing to do something with Gacy, as we mentioned. I caught a glimpse of this guy, Songa, I believe is his name. Big burly dude, hairy chest. Wasn't expecting to see this dude. Dude looks pretty good. His opponent, at first I thought it was the Uso brother, but it wasn't. But his opponent looked like he could have been a stud and like a big dude himself, and Songa made him look like a piece of lunch meat or something.
Nice.
So Songa is a guy I'm kind of keep my eye. I want to see what they do with this big guy. And then there was a nice little I guess vignette. I guess it's a vignette. Vignette doesn't have to mean for debut, I'm assuming. But anyways, nice little scene where it was Tony D'Angelo, and I guess he used to have like two guys with him, and one of them now I guess is gone because they threw his gold watch in the water, when they kind of would throw bodies into the over the bridge. Yeah. So the guy wasn't there obviously, but they were going to throw his gold jacket. They were going to throw his jacket and they threw his gold watch. And then Tony D'Angelo gets a call and he didn't like what he heard on the other end of that call. Something about, hey, the new NA champion. I don't know if it was Carmelo Hayes or not, but anyways, he throws his phone in the water. But I just thought it was a nice little kind of vignette and fell in line pretty good with the gimmick they're doing with Tony D'Angelo and company. So some good stuff there. Speaking of Carmelo Hayes and his buddy, I'm blanking on the name.
Trick Williams.
Is it Trick Williams? Trick Williams. They I guess got played by is it Waller? I guess Waller played him with a contract signing. I don't know what entirely the situation was there, but they got played and it was announced to them that, hey, you're defending the NA title against Waller, and they were kind of confused because they thought Waller was their boy. So that's where they're going with Carmelo Hayes. And what I'm more than happy about, and we talked and I mentioned it here earlier.
Hold on. Toxic Attraction.
No. I'm talking about Cameron Grimes being in the title picture against Braun Breaker.
So didn't he just lose?
Who?
Like a big feud, Grimes.
Yeah, he was the NA champion. He was in that mix with Carmelo. I think they had some triple threat matches or whatever.
Yeah, he lost it. Why is he getting a title?
Because he's been in the mix and he's going to the moon. And he's ready
going
for
to
that.
The moon for too long.
No. He's ready for that next step up. You dabble, you do your thing with the United or with the NA title, and now you find yourself in the world title mix, and we'll see where they go from here. Do I think they're going to put the title on him? I don't think so, but he had some choice words for Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker wasn't too happy about it. Tried to attack him. From what I saw, Grimes got the best of him, so I was happy to see that. Obviously, Grimes is working heel in this situation. But yeah, so we would be kind of curious to see where they go from here. Hopefully, it's a good showing for both guys. I am all in on those two guys in the NXT brand. You want to talk about your Toxic Attraction? I try to move along quickly, so you had some time. Go ahead. They cheated again. Go ahead.
I don't know what they did, but just photos on Twitter. On Twitter, Instagram, just quality content.
Yeah. So I guess they had there was some match they interfered in. It was for the number one contenders for the tag titles. Anyways, Toxic Attraction as always trying to get some cheap shots in there at the end, and get the best of their opponent. So looks like they have a nice feud going on there, and the women's division looks strong in NXT compared to other parts of WWE. Yes, that's about all they do. That's all they do.
No, look at that. Beautiful. Stunning.
Yeah, that's great. That's all they do is take photos.
All right.
Anyways, I mean, no, there's nothing wrong with that. But they gotta defend the title once in a while. So, anyways, expect them at the next. Do they still call them takeovers, or do they move away from that?
We got the Great American Bash coming next week. We're going to talk about the Great American Bash results on next week's episode, on episode 202. But until next time.
Wow, I got a
Rob got the micro baller over there. Until next time, this episode has been absolutely too sweet.